I'm really interested in piracy in Somalia.
I was really curious as to who was doing this and why they were doing it.
And I really thought that's a great movie.
No one's telling the pirate angle, and that was most interesting to me. Like, I had to make a movie about this.
And I did everything I could ever imagine to make it happen.
I'm Cutter Hodierne, writer and director of Fishing Without Nets. Fishing Without Nets is a story of pirates in Somalia told from the perspective of the pirates. It follows Abdi, who's a young, struggling fisherman who, through desperate circumstances, ends up joining a band of pirates, going out and capturing an oil tanker, and the sort of adventure that follows.
Cutter, who was a good friend of mine growing up, emailed me this pitch that he had, and I read this lookbook and totally flipped out over the concept. And I called him back and was basically like, hey man, I think this is incredible. I really want to come and produce this with you.
Cutter started sending me articles about pirates and about Somalia. It became obvious to us almost immediately that that was a story that we wanted to tell for a variety of reasons. At that point, the question was, how are we going to go and make this short film, and how are we going to do it as fast as we could?
16 hours until we leave.
Okay, and what do you have left to do?
I have to go over to the Apple store and get a couple more hard drives. I also picked up malaria pills and diarrhea pills yesterday.
Are you psyched?
I am definitely getting excited.
The short was a really awesome experience, kind of just being with Cutter and John.
Sound is rolling.
You know, we were all like living together in this little apartment in Old Town.
Okay, Pirates Armory, take 4.
I knew that we would have a great piece. Never thought that it would do as well as it did, but I always thought that we were going to head back to do a feature.
And so then Sundance came around in January 2012, and you know, we won. It was at that moment where when you have all the pieces in place, things can move quick. So we partnered with Vice and Think Media.
I feel very fortunate to have had them as a partner. This is a risky film, but it's exactly the kind of stuff that Vice does.
We prepped in LA for 2 months, and then we went to Kenya and we shot for 4 months from basically September 2012 to January 2013. And it was a brutal experience.
I went to Africa to just try to meet people and base things off of real people. My experience was like culture shock at first.
We came to Kenya for a very specific reason. Somalis are here, and the coast looks just like Somalia's coast. This was a directed aim of ours because we knew that this place had the smell, the feel of what we were looking for.
We filmed in Mombasa, Kenya, and left sometimes from the port of Mombasa on our boat out to the Indian Ocean. We drove up the coast a couple hours to a place called Malindi. We shot in Ingamani. We filmed all along the Kenyan coastline. It's a really, really beautiful place to make a movie. It's also total chaos. It was very challenging making a movie there because I was just kind of learning how things operated.
This place is hard to work in. There's no question about that. It is way too hot. It is hot all day long. Infrastructure's not there. It's dangerous to walk out your door. Like, it's just a difficult place.
I think the sun moved a little bit closer to us guys today. I can smell cooking human. I'm not sure if it's me or it's someone else, but I smell cooking human today.
It's hot all the time, and the electricity is not completely reliable for our equipment. I know we like busted out a bunch of our batteries, powering off of like the houses, and so there were some electrical issues.
One of our lenses, one of our babies, is misbehaving, and usually it's something we can just switch it out, you know, but we're very far from home, and so we can't switch it out very easily.
I think as we got into the shooting, we realized that this script that we'd written was going to be really difficult to get done in the time and with the resources that we had and to be done right. We stayed there for 3 months shooting, and a lot of it was us figuring out how to put together a movie of this scope. What we were trying to do was really, really ambitious.
Just wondering if they could get lower.
This is by far the craziest film we've ever worked on. This is insane. Awesome, but insane.
Our mentality of the short couldn't be transferred over to the making of the feature when the production number had increased to 30 plus.
Making a feature is a completely different animal. We would be building sets, we would be running around all over a village. It just became clear to us that because we had so many things, so many people, it was going to be very difficult to create the same setting that we had done within the short.
Authenticity was the most important thing for us, and it was something I think we were always struggling and always combating. Was like, are we doing anything that we don't even recognize as not authentic?
Yes. What's up, angry fisherman?
Teaming up with the actors was the way for me to make this feel as authentic as I hope it does. These guys know this world better than I. Let me be a student to them.
There aren't that many Somali films that take Somalia and try to do a serious treatment of who they are. And the only way we're going to do that was by collaborating with the guys who were acting within the film.